Let's go.
Which team has the better quarterback situation for this upcoming season? The Bears or the Steelers?
See, I'm glad you framed that as a better situation
Yeah.
overall. Because look, I'm going to say the Steelers, but I want people to understand that I am a Caleb Williams fan. The guy is uniquely talented. I get all that. I'm going to say the Steelers because of this. You see the work they did in the draft with this offensive line. Let me just start there. You see how this offensive line is being rebuilt. Mike Tomlin told me last year. He said, "Look, we need more bullies to go along with Broderick Jones." So what they go out and do? They got three of them. They got three boys: Fautanu, Zach Frazier, and Mason McCormick. These young cats are nasty. Now you think about that combined with their running back room and Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, and you think about that with Pat Freiermuth, okay, at tight end. You think about that with George Pickens. They draft Roman Wilson out of Michigan, and then you bring in Arthur Smith, who now can focus on just calling plays and not being the head coach. Just calling plays. Utilize what I have. Utilize my strengths, this offensive line, running game, play action, passing game. Now we get to the quarterback room. With a guy in Russell Wilson who needs that. When Russell has a run game, play action game, it can be lights out for Russ. It could be absolutely lights out. What were we crying about when Justin was in Chicago all along? That he wasn't being utilized under center, play action, passing game, change the launch points. It's all set up for both of them. Both of them right now. Geno Smith told me when we were out in Seattle, even after Russ left, he still talked to Russ. Russ is a great mentor for other young quarterbacks. How many times have we talked about the ascension of young quarterbacks in the NFL and how much their quarterback room plays a part in that? Justin's never really had that. Now, I understand he's really competing with Russ, and he probably has every intention on beating him out and at some point becoming the starter, but Russ should be good for him. It should be good for him. This offensive line will be good for him. These wide receivers and their philosophy that Arthur's going to put into place is going to be good for both of them. And that's why I think Pittsburgh is one of those teams that over the past couple of years, we've been talking about them offensively as being so anemic. It's defensive-centric in this organization. Mike's washed up. He doesn't know how to pick offensive coordinators. All that BS that we heard. I think this year, Pittsburgh explodes onto the scene. The offensive line leads the way. The youth leads the way. And Arthur Smith kind of reclaimed some of that shine that he had when he was at Tennessee, when him and Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry all of a sudden were just dropping bombs on people, and Ryan Tannehill was the highest rated passer in the NFL. That's why I think that situation is legit.
I feel it's my moment to educate you about something in regards to football. It's the first time this ever happened, so hold your breath to this.
Okay.
To you, doggy, It's a tribute to you where I'm about to go. Did you know that the last quarterback that the Bears drafted in the first round and developed into an all-pro was a guy by the name of Sid Luckman in 1939? I thought you'd appreciate that, doggy. I thought you'd appreciate that. Okay? So we're talking about a Bears squad that this is not what they do, Lewis. This is not what they do. Now, I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't disagree with anything you said. It's just that I can't definitively say that's a better situation than the Chicago Bears right now. Let me get to you, Louis Riddick, and touch on it where I'm a touch some of your expertise. It was you that told me first, before anybody else, about Patrick Mahomes and what this brother was going to be on this level. You're the first one to do it, Louis Riddick. I'll never forget it. You was talking about this guy, Patrick Mahomes, before I ever saw him play. I said, all right, we going to find out. And sure enough, the brother all that in a bag of chips, right? Well, Caleb, did you know he's the first FBS quarterback with 30 passes, 30 TD passes, and 10 rush TDs in back-to-back seasons since Patrick Mahomes did it in 2015, 2016? That's a good comparison because when we're looking at his ability and we're projecting what he's going to be on the next level, we got to take that into consideration, okay? I got to also look at the Bears. This is the first time a team in the common draft era to take a quarterback and a wide receiver in the top 10. That hasn't happened. They got that now, okay? They got that with him and Odunze, right? So now you got that. You still got Keenan Allen, who you acquired. You got DJ Moore that's still there. You got Kmet at the tight end spot. You got DeAndre Swift from Philadelphia, okay? He's now in your back. He's now coming out of your backfield, right? I'm looking at all of those pieces, and clearly he's the guy. In Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopeful about Russell Wilson. I know Justin Fields is the future, but we're talking about next season. And next season, even though I expect a significant upgrade with the Steelers who were in the playoffs last year, and Mike Tomlin is that dude and he finds a way, and I get all of that. Arthur Smith, there's your offensive coordinator. We ain't going to have the problems that we had last year with Matt Canada. I get all of that, okay? But there is Cleveland, Baltimore, and Cincinnati with a healthy Joe Burrow returning. Jamar Chase. I don't know about the T. Higgins thing. That's not. I mean, they got to find a way to deal with that. But I get that. In the NFC North, well, we hope about Minnesota, and we understand that J.J. McCarthy's got skills, and okay, Kirk Cousins is going, but damn it, he ain't gonna be Kirk Cousins' rookie year. I don't foresee that happening. Okay. Then you got Detroit, and of course Green Bay, but Chicago with the personnel they have in place, with a defense that was 12th in the NFL and elevating, with the pieces they've added on the offensive side of the ball, with Caleb Williams clearly being their franchise quarterback, okay? I'm taking all of that into consideration, and I can't say definitively, the Steelers are in a better situation than Chicago, because it ain't like you just got a bunch of rookies there. You got some weapons there, some veteran weapons there to go with this rookie star, to go with your personnel on the defensive side of the ball in a division that I believe, albeit good, is not better than the AFC North and the resistance waiting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why I would say Chicago, I think, is a better situation right now.
I think so, too. I'm with Lewis. I'm with Stephen A. I hate to be with Stephen A., but I'm with him on that. And here's what I would ask the Pittsburgh general manager who talked to Pat yesterday. If I asked you right now, let's trade. You give up Wilson and Fields for Caleb Williams, he would rush to the phone. He would rush to the phone.
Yeah.
He'd say, yeah, you got it. Let's go. That's not to say that Pittsburgh did not do as good a job as they could have done with their quarterback thing. I mean, they had not a lot to work with. They took a chance on Wilson. Why not? They got Fields, who has, been underdeveloped. Not all his fault. They maybe catch a little lightning in the bottle. So I know what Pittsburgh did, and they are better than they were a year ago in that room. So I give them all that credit from that. And their offensive line, and, they made the playoffs last year. I agree with you on that, too. Got a receiver to go with Pickens. As you know the offensive line better than me. I watched you all last week talking about that Pittsburgh offensive line. But Williams could be great. And at that position, you really have a chance to have a great quarterback. You think he's going to be great? Let's wait and see. But he could very well be great. Yep. You have to take the Bear room ahead of the Steeler room. Wilson's old. He hasn't been great the last 3 years. Fields was not over-impressive with the Bears. Not all his fault, but he did not do it. He had a 73-point quarterback rating in the fourth quarter. He didn't lead a lot of game-winning drives. I mean, I'm not sure if Fields is going to amount to a real good quarterback in the NFL. And again, Wilson's had 3 bad years in a row. Lousy last year in Seattle, the 2 years in Denver. The first year was terrible. A little better last year, but not great. And Williams could be, as you guys have just said, Patrick Mahomes light, and the Bears have some offense to go along with it. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I think you got to take the Bears situation better than the Steelers situation.